Thank you for attending today's webinar. We're going to be looking at the Bitrix24 cloud service. Bitrix24 does come as a cloud service or as an on-site product, but what we are looking at today is going to be what you can get in the cloud, and most everything that I talk about will be available in the free version, which is available up to 12 users. It supports up to 12 users. And I will point out anything that is not available in the free version. Bitrix24 itself is a collaboration platform. As you can see, it has a multitude of tools, including traditional intranet tools, tasks and projects, online documents, calendars, various HR functions. It also has extremely wide communication tools. So there are mobile apps, there's a workflow that does many things, including notifications to make sure you know what other people are doing. There is an internal chat and video web messenger. It integrates with a mail server. Bitrix24 actually offers a free mail server, and it has integrated telephony. Bitrix24 also has a CRM in it. Many of you are here expressly for that purpose, to see how the CRM works. I would remind you that next week we will have a video specifically on the CRM. So let's take a look at what Bitrix24 looks like when you open it up. The front page has an activity stream and my workspace over here. These tools that you see here are all access sensitive. So this person, Danny White, will not see anything to which he does not have direct access. As you can see, here are a bunch of things that he's posted. Here is a process, we'll talk about those soon, where he has been involved, another one of those. And anything that is by him or sent to him or a group that he is part of is going to show up here. Now, unfortunately, okay, here you see, here's something in the work, in something about workday parameters that involves him. The same is true of the space over here. This is a list of the tasks of this person. So these are my tasks. This is my drive, the documents to which I have access, and my individual calendar. Now, in this front page, we have a tool here called the Company Pulse. Okay, that helps you with determining how involved people are in using the various tasks, or the various tools, including the social network, tasks, the video. And so that is a very useful adoption tool. You can invite other users simply by sending them an email from this form. Okay, you can also invite users underneath this. This create button is available on all pages, and as you can see, it has several options available under it. This post form, when you want to post a new message in the activity stream, this is an extremely powerful instant content sharing device. So as you can see, we can do a regular message. We can share files by using that or that. I can create a calendar event right from here, in which case my people will be, my recipients will be those who are invited to that event. We will talk about processes in a moment. There are polls, as you saw. There's also badges, appreciation, okay, where you get to select somebody and show your appreciation. And then there are also announcements. I'll go ahead and leave this message as an announcement type. So suppose I want to say something important. And I don't need to tell everybody I'll remove that all employees. I can choose precisely whom I want to send this to. It can be individual users, it can be work groups, okay, that are here, and it could also be departments of the company. Okay, so let's say everybody in human resources. Right? That's a little bit of an eclectic group, but it's important to note that you can select exactly who will get this message, meaning who will see it in the activity stream. So these two people will, anybody in that group will, and anybody in that department from the company structure down here, okay, company structure, will see this. All right, let's go ahead and put a file on it just for the experience. We can put this file here. I've just drug a file from my Windows Explorer. Okay, I put that in there, and let's see. I don't need to put. I can put a video link in there if I so desire. I can put a mention or some various other things here. But let's go ahead and send that. So because this is an announcement, it gets this kind of pale yellow highlight here, and I get a little box over here where I can scroll through the various announcements that there are, and I can also mark them as read. I'll go ahead and mark that as read, okay? And you see it starts creating a little list of who has read that. Right? Now, this document will be available to all of the people in this message, at least for reading. And in fact, they can actually just click on that and get a preview of that document right there. Okay. Let's take a look at a couple of the tools that we have here. First of all, with the tasks, we'll take a look at tasks here. And as you can see in tasks, going across the top, we essentially have different filters. Okay, so this is the filter for ongoing tasks, and then you can see the various options that we've got under that. Generally speaking, I want to show the tasks that are in progress, and then, you know, I can say who they're from, by everybody or from me. Okay, as you can see, there are only two different people here who were created. I can also choose the state of the tasks. Now, these little numbers, as you can see, a 7 here, that means I've got 1 unviewed and 6 that are overdue, which are nicely highlighted in red. Set by me, so these are all the tasks that I have given to other people. Okay, and then a very important filter, all. Okay, we'll get to that in just a moment. As you can see, in any, I can perform various grid functions here. And I've also got the various work groups to which I belong with any task in there that is mine, any task that fits this filter that's in progress and it's mine, it will show up here in the section of the given work group. As I said, we can, you know, mark various tasks here and use those grid functions. And then on any given task right here, I can perform a variety of these actions. I won't be able to delete just anything. I can delete this one because I was the one who created it. Okay? I can mark tasks as completed, just like that. Right? And then you see this little play pause button, which is, I think, a very good thing, because that means I can just click that, and now I'm tracking that I'm working on that task right now. And then after I get done with that, or need to change what I'm doing, I can click on a different one. It'll ask me, are you sure you want to look at a different one? I say yes, and it goes ahead and starts tracking time on this other task. Let's take a quick look at all tasks, because this is where you can get the extended filter, meaning that you can filter by any or all of these fields, any subset of these fields. So you could say, you know, where this person's, this given person is the creator of the task, okay, and then it was created where it was created on, that particular day or something like that. Okay, and then also note that you can export tasks to Excel or to Outlook. In Bitrix, when you export from a table, you export what you have in the table at that time. Whatever filters you have on it, that is what will be exported. That's true in the CRM, that's true here, pretty much anywhere there is a table. The same is also true with the fields that are visible in the table. You can choose what fields. Anywhere you see a table in Bitrix, you can change the fields around and choose what's there. When you're creating a task, you can just name it, assign a responsible person, okay, give it a deadline, and then this is the play pause button. If you take that off, there will be no play pause button next to that task. Okay, so you can choose to have that or not. Tasks can be associated with work groups. And here you see that she's not a member of the work group, so it warned me about that. Okay, nice of it to do that. And there is a full task form, okay, which has a substantially larger number of features. It gives you the full field for a description. It gives you a checklist. You can put any number of steps in here. And you can put in observers. You can make this a parent task, a main task with an existing task below it, or you can make it a subtask of an existing task. Tasks can be repeated, and you can also associate them with CRM items. You probably won't do that a lot because you'll probably create tasks in the CRM when you need them to be associated with a given item. I'm not actually going to create a task there. Tasks can be shown as a Gantt chart. Okay, and my data here isn't all that exciting, so oh wow, oh I've got everything looking at everything. Obviously, the Gantt chart is a little bit more useful inside the work groups. You can look at all the tasks in that given work group and see the relationship to each other. All right, so let's move on from that and take a very quick look at the calendars. Now, calendars in Bitrix basically do what calendars are supposed to do. Okay, each person has their own calendar. By default, it's given their name, but you can actually you can edit that. Okay, when you edit a calendar, you can choose the color. You can apply access permissions as well. Anything that is view and higher, okay, not these, but view and higher, will allow the person to add it to their favorite calendars. The advantage of favorite calendars is that I have access to view these calendars, and I can show them on a calendar grid, not just my own. Okay, this actually follows me around. Wherever I look at a calendar, I have the option to put in my favorite calendars and say, okay, I want to see what her calendar looks like on top of this one. So if I'm in a group or if I'm somewhere, I can look at these calendars all at the same time. Okay. Calendars can be connected to Outlook, also the mobile connection, and also Exchange. As you can see here, I've got a Google Calendar. When you're doing external calendars via CalDAV, you have instructions specifically for Google, but for any CalDAV, that will work. The MySpace menu, by the way, in fact, the entire menu, has these options to hide or to show. Okay, and so that's convenient because it allows you, to pull stuff up or to move things around. Okay, and what I'd like to do now is I'd like to take a look at my drive. documents in Bitrix24 are divided into drives. You have my drive, each work group has a drive, and then there is a company drive. Right? Now, I'm in my drive right now. My drive is critical because this is what syncs up with your Bitrix24 desktop app. This is what gives you a sync with your local computer. Okay. So as you can see, I've got a couple of, like here's the marketing group. Okay, I've got the files from that marketing group showing up here in my drive. So that means it will be synced, for me locally. And then if I get back online, they'll sync up. Any document drive can have its access permissions assigned for the drive entirely here, and then you can also assign access on individual folders and files under the sharing. When you let's take a look at revision history. Let's take a look at the whole document detail page. You have a revision history. You can restore that. Okay, and on the detail page, you can get a public link. Okay, that I could send that to you right now, or you could copy that down and you could download that file right now. Okay, if the public link is working. Okay. And you can also upload a new version of the file right from here. All right, so those are the main tools. I haven't covered a couple of the things, but those are the main tools. And so now I'd like to take a look at the work groups, also called projects, project groups, whatever you like, because this has, as you can see, basically the same functionality, but a work group is like a miniature intranet. Okay, so you choose whatever subset of users that you want. You make some of them members, some moderators, and then you have one owner, and you can determine access rights according to those roles. Okay, so for tasks that are in this group, I can say, okay, everybody can view them, but only the moderators and owner can create tasks in this group. Okay? And thus with the other group features. The group has its own stream, as you can see, and in here the default recipient is the entire group. Now, if you are part of this group, you will see these messages in both your mainstream and your group. Okay, you won't. It's not like they will only show in the group and you have to go into the group to see them. That is not the case. The extranet in the cloud version is simply a set of work groups to which you can invite external users. So like clients, suppliers, partners, etc. This gives you a space where you get all of these collaboration tools, you get the support of the instant messenger, and you don't have to worry about the external users seeing other things. If you invite an external user to the group, okay, right, invite to group, okay, so it has to be an extranet group to do that, but that user will only see the group that they're in, their own profile, and the other members of the group, nothing else. Okay. All right, let's take a look at the, let's go ahead and take a look at the workflow, at the processes. Okay, this is relatively new. And as you can see, we have several processes here. Let's just run a purchase request. Now, I'm the top here, so I don't think this is going to be all that exciting. But the point of these processes is that it sets up true workflows that can be activated from the activity stream. Oh, thank you. If you invite extranet users, does it count toward the 12 free? Thank you very much for that question, because I failed to note that the extranet is available only in the paid versions. And in the paid versions, as you know, there's no limit on users. Okay, but you do not get the extranet at all in the free version, except for the 30-day trial of the Pro. Please look, find that under subscription. You do get a 30-day free trial, no credit card needed. So here I am. I'm gonna request some kind of purchase. Suppose, I don't know. Suppose we need a bicycle because we need to be able to get through traffic. Okay, it's going to cost. How much does a bicycle cost? I don't know. 600 euros. Should be able to get a pretty good bike for that. You can add a file. Okay, and then you send this. Okay, now this is, like I said, this depends on the company structure. Oh, look. Okay, great. So I was afraid I would have to approve it myself, but as you can see, this approval has gone to somebody else. Now, okay, it's gone to the IT department for some reason, but well, I mean, it's gone to the IT department because that's how I set it up, probably so that it would not go back to me. So this person would come in and he would get buttons here saying approve or look at this, look at this document, etc. Document in the sense of the request. Okay, document is used as the object on which a workflow runs. Now, these workflows are available down here under the administrative workflows. Okay, now as you can see, we've created quite a few in this demo because we've been experimenting with them. Let's take a look at what this is. Each one of these, if you're familiar with Bitrix, each of these workflows is a list plus a workflow, plus a business process template. We're getting away from the term business process and using the word workflow more and more, but you can still see business process occasionally. So I have permission to see this whole list. Most users would not. Most users would see nothing here. Okay, but they would have the button to add, a new element, to make a new request. Okay, in this case. Okay, so I can see that, okay, there have been 5 requests, 2 are in progress, and I can make a request here. Now, let's take a look at what one of these things looks like. Okay, okay, so there's a request to fix the internet. Apparently it's not working. I put a level on it and things. So each of these fields comes from the list. Okay, the list here in the settings. Okay, workflow fields. Okay, now don't worry about this too much. Okay, but the point of this is that you can have any number of fields that hold different types of data. Okay, this is a list. Let's take a look at that. Okay, the priority level. Remember, there was a priority level for this request. If I choose the list type, okay, now once a field has its type chosen, you can't change it. Okay, but when you're actually creating the field, you choose the list type. It gives you a tab, and you can put in the list. Okay. And then I apply that, or I can just save it, I suppose. If I save it, I'll come back to here. Okay, and so now that list is a little bit different, right? Here's a question: can we make something like a double approval, like 2 teams need to approve? Absolutely, that's no problem at all. Okay, so let's go back then. So We can create as many fields as we like. Okay. And now let's take a look at the business process, the workflow itself. Okay. This is the general request, and as you can see, it auto runs whenever something is created. What does this look like? It looks like this flow chart. Okay. So the first thing we have is a user notification. Who do we notify? We notify the employee. Okay, I wonder who that is. Okay, well, that is determined up in here. Okay, with the various. Oh, okay, we don't have any parameters. We do have a requester variable here, and we don't have any constants in this one. Okay, but the here we have this set variable. Okay, and so the requester is set as the person who has created the document. Okay, and then the document approval goes to, oh, I'm sorry, the approving voters, okay, has to be the employee. Okay, so that is going to be the supervisor of the person who requested it. Okay. Oh no, I'm sorry. That's going to be the person to whom the request was sent, because I could actually choose that when I set it up. It's just that the default was that Mark Zappin guy. That's right. Okay, so the point being, sorry about that, but the point being is that you can create these approval things. You can choose the supervisor. This process knows who people's bosses are. Okay, so select employee right here. Suppose I want a supervisor type, and then I would say for whoever, document field, whoever created that request, their supervisor. Okay, I save that, and now, here, just a second. Okay, oh, if there's no supervisor, then send it to there. That's fine. Okay. So now, in any other of these blocks, I can reference the person that I found there using these builders. As you can see, these builders refer to the parameters, the variables, and the additional results, including the selected employee. Okay, so don't worry about this too much if you don't understand it, but the point is that you can create very powerful workflows that do multiple levels of access. They send out notifications. They do all kinds of things right from your activity stream with a very convenient user interface. Right. So I think the time has come. Yes, we're halfway through. Time has come to move to the CRM. The CRM has its own stream where you can see what's been going on in the CRM recently. This is also convenient because you can just post something here, like make a note of that, right? And you don't have to search for a given, I don't have anybody like that. Do I have anybody named George? No. Okay. Well, I've got lots of people named John. Okay. So suppose it was that, that contact. I need to make a note on that. I can just put this note, put that contact here and send that, and that note will be appended to the stream of that contact's detail page. All right, and I can also notify a colleague. I could say, you know what, like let me make sure that you have seen that, this note. Okay. The Activities tab is useful. My goodness, look at all those. That must be some kind of repeated function. Let's just do that. The Activities tab is useful because you can come into the Activities tab, you can click on My Current Activities, and then you can sort by the deadline, okay, and you can just see, okay, this is what I need to be doing. All right. Now, in any Bitrix table that looks like this, where you have something like this across the top, this is a filter. Okay, you expand it and collapse it there. And as you can see, what does My Current Activities mean? It means that they're not complete. That's the current. Okay, and they belong to Jenny White. That's the My. So there you go. Okay, I could say, you know, like My Current Activities with a deadline of whatever. Okay, I can add additional. Whoops. Oh dear. I can add additional fields here. Okay. Like all of my, yeah, I could say all of my activities concerning one particular contact. If I you know, had lots of stuff that I do with those, with individual contacts. Okay, so these are kind of the two starting places when you're saying, okay, what has been going on, okay, and what do I need to do? Okay, so this is kind of like where the daily work starts in your CRM. All right, now the CRM itself, of course, is more of a process, you know, where you have leads, they get converted to contacts and or companies, okay? And then you also have deals associated with those. So let's start off with leads, okay? Do I have any open leads? I might not. I do have one, okay. Now, in any of these leads, contacts, companies, or deals, you can come over here and you can import, okay? Meaning you can import a CSV file. Okay, for contacts, you can import other things, you know, your various contacts from like Outlook and other places. Okay, but you import a CSV file, and that is how you do that. You can also get leads in from a web form out on your website. There is an API page to which you can send those forms and have the fields go in exactly where you want them to go. Okay, and then of course you can also put leads in by hand. Now, here in my lead, as you can see, I can perform several activities right from here. Okay, I can, you know, change the status. Okay? And if I just go ahead and double click anywhere on that lead, then I open up the detail page. Right? Now the detail page has all of the, you know, all of the information that I have here. Okay, and it also has the activities. Okay, so here's the stream. As you can see, there's a note that the status was changed. It was like this, and now it's like that. And it has all the activities. Now, I don't have any activities with this yet, okay, but I can send an email. All right, I can send an email. Now, this is the default email that I'm using. I can use you know, my personal email here, and I can also put in a template. Templates are set up in the settings. Okay, every user can create templates, and as you can see, the templates on individual emails can use a merge feature, you know, macros, so that you pull in the names and the companies and stuff like that. Okay, so I'm pretty sure that's not going to go anywhere, so I'll go ahead and send it. Now, if he returns that email, if it's from the if it's from an email address that is from the CRM, and if he does indeed copy it back, I will get that. I will get a message with a blue arrow going the other way as an incoming message. And if I've used my personal email address, I will also, of course, get a message there. So you can make calls, you can log calls, you can plan calls. Okay, so whenever you pull up this form, it gives you whatever time this was right now, just in case you just called this. You know, you can just say, you know, called him put it as complete, okay, and then just save that, okay. Or you can say need to call and plan a call for whenever in the future. Oh, I put completed. I didn't want to do that. And I don't know if I can mark as unfinished. There you go. All right. Okay, so I need to call him on that day. Right. Now, as you get to know more information about your lead, you might add, products from your catalog, add quotes, and you might run a business process. Now, as you can see, a couple of business processes have already been run. We'll get to that. Right. Now, the whole point of having leads is to convert them into contacts and ultimately to close out your sales cycle, meaning that a transaction is completed. So when I convert, okay, I convert a lead into a contact. That's not really an option, okay? I can convert it to a contact, or I can kind of merge it with an existing contact, okay, which is not what I want to do here. I want to create a new contact. I can fill in whatever other information I might have here, make comments. I can also create a company at this time. Now, it got that information from the lead. Okay. I can put in whatever else I've got again. Okay, and I can also create a deal at this time. Okay, suppose I know that he wants something that costs, whatever, $700, €3, whatever. Okay, I can mark what type of sale it is, and I can add products if I so desire. I'll go ahead and save that. Okay, so I've taken a lead. I've gotten to some point where I know him well, or I have sent him a quote or something. Some part of the process has been reached where I am not going to call him a lead anymore. I'm going to work with him as a contact. Okay, it was Bert, right? Okay, so I'm going to work with him as a contact, and that means that I can, when I pull up a contact, I can see all the deals, because I might end up with more than one deal with this person. I can see all the quotes that I've sent him, all the invoices. I can see the company that he's associated with. And by clicking on that company, I can see whether or not there are other, if I go to contacts, are there other people that we know at that company? Right now, no. But if somebody else, if we get to know the purchasing director, then we can add that contact right there. Okay, so let's go back here to the contact itself that we just made, right? And we can go through the various stages of the deal, okay, and then eventually close the deal like that. So that is the stages of the CRM. You start as a lead, generally speaking. You might start as a company, depending on what type of clients you deal with, and march it through such that you put them into here, and then you start working on individual deals. Now, we've got a lot of other tools here. Let's start with another application of the workflows. Okay, so kind of the same idea as the processes that we saw in the activity stream, except that here it's operating in the CRM. As you can see, I got a message saying that there was a conversion to, and then it gives me the new status, converted. Okay, that's a little bit redundant, but no big deal. In the lead cannonball. Okay, that's what we've been working with. Right. So where did that message come from? Okay. Well, that message actually came down here from the settings of the CRM, okay, in the business processes. Now, that was set on a lead, okay? As you can see, there are 3 processes that are auto-run, 2 of them on create, okay, and 1 of them on update. Now, obviously, these didn't particularly do anything. Nothing really happened, right? Notify me upon lead conversion. Okay, pretty simple. Let's take a very quick look at what that workflow looks like. Right? It doesn't look like much. It just says, did the lead get set to converted? Yes or no? If yes, send a message to DY. That's it. Let's take a look at this condition. I can create any number of condition forks. All right. The first fork that it checks is on the far left. The next one is this. The next one is that. If this is true, it goes this way, and these are written off entirely. They do not affect anything. If it does not fit this, then it goes to this one. Yes or no. It doesn't matter if it fits multiple ones. Whichever one is further left, it takes precedence. How did it say? How do we know when it's converted? Well, we take a condition type. Okay. That can be a document field or variable that's in the workflow or a certain PHP expression. You're not going to worry about that too much in the cloud. The on-site version, yes. What document field? Well, the status. Okay, we could say, you know, if the responsible person is this person, or we could say if the shoe size. I've got shoe size. I've got my custom fields. Okay, if the shoe size is this, then send him here. Okay. If the status is equal, okay, I've got other options, but obviously I chose equal to, and then it just pulls up all the statuses that I have, also available in settings. I can change these things if I want. If this is true, if the document field called status is equal to converted, send a message to Danny White. Okay. Now we could do other things. We could set a task for somebody, possibly Danny White again. We could modify the document. We could say, okay, if that's true, then actually go ahead and change the responsible person. We'll make the responsible person somebody else. We'll modify the document. Okay. So again, very powerful module. It is available in the processes in the activity stream. It is available in the document library. It is available in the CRM. It's also available in lists. Lists are available only in the professional version. There's not a lot of difference between the processes available in the activity stream and the lists. Let's go to reports here, because we were talking about, I'm sorry, I don't want reports quite yet. I want the sales funnel. We had talked about deals, and you remember we had those deals, the various deal stages on that bar. Well, here they are presented as a sales funnel. Okay. There are two versions of the sales funnel. There's standard and with conversions. With conversions simply means that it counts everything below along with the given stage. So this is actually waiting for details, 77%, plus all of these things. Okay, so that's how that works. Just in case your numbers look really kind of strange, that's what's going on. You can filter this, very important. You can filter the currency. Okay, you can filter the deal type. Okay, and you can save these filters. Okay, so you can just come in here and get a view of your sales funnel. Responsible person is probably a pretty important one. You can get the view of your sales funnel that you want right there. Reports work very much the same way. Now, please do pay attention to how these reports, because the reports in tasks work very much the same way, meaning you get to choose what fields are in there and you get to choose what the filters look like. Now, in the CRM, we have different objects on which we can report. We can report on deals. We can report on products from the catalog. Okay, we're not going to talk about the catalog much more than we already have, which is basically none. We can report on leads, invoices, and manager activity. Now, I like manager activity because it's got a nice graphic on it. Okay, so here I've got a reporting period for the entire, time. Okay, and you can see, these are what these people have been doing. Now, not every report has a graph to it, but all reports, including the reports in the tasks, have this, these columns that you can choose, and then totals at the bottom, right? Now, and as well as a filter. Okay, you can sort by these columns. Who's had the most meetings? Okay, well, looks like my guy has. Right? You can sort by these columns, and then you can edit these reports. Okay, now, again, this might be a little bit more complicated than what some of you want to think about at this time, but you should at least know that you can come in here, you can add any column, meaning any field, to these, you know, oh, I've got that twice now, but any column to the report, and then in the filter, you can also come over here, hit that plus, and also add various fields in the filter with the condition. Okay, so if it was created, you know, on this particular date, or if it was created on any other date before that, or you know, before or after, whatever. All right, and then you can choose. You can also choose the type of chart, if the report is one that has a graph to it, right? So let's go ahead and go to settings. Now, we are simply in the CRM section under settings. We're going to be here for a little while because this is where you can make your CRM in Bitrix24 conform to what it is that you actually do. Okay, you don't have to change your work to what the system offers. You can make the system fit what you do. Lead statuses. You might not need 10 lead statuses. Okay, you might say, look, I only need 3. Okay, you have to have 3. The system requires having 3 like this. You don't have to call them that. Okay, you can call them whatever you want. Okay, if you want it to go back to whatever it was originally, you just hit that button. Okay. Lead sources, same idea. Contact types, company types, number of employees, industry, deal type. Okay, these are all lists that you can adjust. Deal stages. So here are the stages of your CRM. Anything that is below there is going to show up at the bottom of the, well, this and below is going to show up at the bottom of the sales funnel. Okay, quote statuses, invoice statuses. Back to settings. You can add different currencies. Okay, so you don't have to work in USD or Euro. You know, it's the one thing is your base currency here. If you want to change that, just right here in the table, click on the hamburger button, make base currency there, just like that. Okay. Well, just a moment. There. Okay. Okay. And you can add a currency. Okay, so there's just no difficulties there. Locations, taxes, well, measurement as well, and payments and invoices. Those need to be filled in order to work with quotes and invoices effectively. We just don't have time to do that. We do have materials to help you with that. Some of you might have noticed there's a lot of help over here with this thing. You can click on a section, you know, and you get the help that is available for that. I highly recommend the training course. Okay, just even if you just browse through it, I highly recommend that. Custom fields. You saw that I had shoe size there. Okay, you can come in, you can make a custom field. It can be of any type that you see here. Okay, so it can be a string, an integer, yes, no, time or date. It can be a file. Okay, if you need to have a file that is the scans of the signed documents, okay, there it is. You can just make a file and then, you know, make it required, for example, if you want. All right. analytical reports. I guess we can take a look at that quickly. Access permissions. There is a video about access permissions. If we look at that quickly, the principle is this: that you choose a user group or an individual user or a department or your social network group. Okay, so you choose a user or group of users here in this column. You give them a role here, and then you give the roles permissions here. Okay. So for example, let's just take a look at one example, at board member. Okay, if somebody's a board member, you don't really want them working here, but they do have to be able to see things. So you come in here and you give them read permission on everything. Okay, so here we've got the entity, and here we've got what they can do. They can't do anything, okay, except read. Right? You might, if somebody is a salesperson, you might say, okay, personal, meaning the objects, in this case the contacts, for which they are personally responsible for. Okay, personal plus department means the ones that you're responsible for, or the ones that anybody else in your department, according to the company structure, is responsible for. Okay, and then there is also, department and subdepartments and all. Right. So let's get out of that. Question: how do quotes integrate with deals? How do you convert quotes to deals? Are they unrelated? Well, when you have the information of a deal, here we can. Let's. If we make a new quote, we can actually pull in data from a given deal. Okay, so once we have that, then it's able to access data from that deal, and a quote is created. Here are the analytical reports. I guess we'll have to cover that in the next webinar. Business processes we looked at. Email integration. This is where you will set up a POP email account. Okay, I messed mine up, but don't worry about that. A POP email account that your CRM will reach into and collect, okay, including with the capability of creating new leads if it's an unknown sender. So if you have an advertisement and you say, please mail us at sales@mycompany.com, if you put that in as the email here, your CRM, your Bitrix CRM, will create leads on incoming emails from there. It must be a POP3 box. Okay, other settings are worth looking at. Email templates we mentioned. I showed you how that works. The thing about other settings is this is where you can do duplicate control, and this is where you can set your invoice numbers and quote IDs. So that's very much worth looking at. Okay, here's a question. Is it possible to have different types of information for different types of leads? All of your lead fields, all of your custom lead fields will be visible in all types of leads. Okay, you might not use all the fields for all your different leads, but you can't create different types of leads that have certain fields or certain statuses. That would not work. All right, so now we've gone through the CRM. I had mentioned the company structure a couple of times. The company structure is very, very simple here. You have your top department and departments under that. Okay, so when I said that I can give somebody access to see the leads that they are responsible for plus their department, that's whatever box they're in here. Okay, department and subdepartments, etc. Right? These work times and work reports are available only in the professional plan. internet settings. Please do look at that. If you're new to Bitrix, but you are the administrator, please do look at this, because you can go on 12-hour, 24-hour. Okay, some people get driven nuts if it's 24-hour. Others the other way around. If it's 12-hour, it's just intolerable. You can set the first day of the week. Might not be Sunday. You might not be in North America or England or whatever. And then, of course, telephony. A note about telephony. This balance and statistics page shows you where you have, how much money you've got. Whatever charges you have, whether it's outgoing calls, rented phone number, everything comes from here. And this is independent of your Bitrix24 plan. If you're on the free version, you can just put money in there and use the phone. Okay, you don't have to pay. You don't have to have a paid version to use that. At the same time, if you're paying for a tariff, you still need to put money in there in order to use it. Okay, question: can we also handle email tickets inside the CRM, or can it not use real emails? No, yeah, you can do that. You can use email. There is email conversations back and forth in the CRM. You can do that. All right, so thank you very much for attending.